Well, good morning everyone. It's about 10:40 on Thursday, March 7th, and I'm just heading down our trail here that goes around the field eventually, and there's a big black cherry that's fallen down across the trail, so I have to cut that off the trail. I'm going to see if it's any good for firewood. It might be partly rotten, I'm not sure. So we'll check that out. So here's the black cherry tree. I have to clear off the trail. And I'll see if the wood is any good for firewood. If it is, I may cut some more of it up. If it isn't, I'll just leave the rest lying here on the ground. It's quite a large tree. What's laying on the ground here is probably 45 or 50 feet long, and up at the bottom end, up there, it's a good 1.5 feet in diameter. It's quite a large black cherry. Here, where I'm sitting, it's probably 10 inches in diameter across the trail. Here's a view just showing the portion that's across the trail. So I'm going to try cutting up underneath the log over at this end. Cut down initially and then come up from beneath. And then a similar type of thing over here just to prevent binding. I think the log will tend to close and bind if I just strictly go down the top. Okay, I got through there. There we go. Well, as you can see here, the wood looks very good. No obvious signs of rot right there, so I guess I'll continue to saw up a few pieces of this log anyhow. This battery I have here is starting to wear down a bit. I just brought it out as a bit of a backup to my larger one anyhow. There we go. It's good. Battery time. That one done. Okay, so this is a fairly large section of the log here. I've cut maybe just over halfway down from the top. Now I'm coming up from underneath with my undercut, and that way when the tree binds this way, my saw will be freed open on the bottom. Hopefully. There we go. See, my saw is free. If I just kept coming from the top, this would have squeezed onto my saw and it would have been a real pain to get out of there. Now this section of log here, I will just cut to the right of this knob because I don't want to have to cut through more wood than I need to. That'll be pretty well the full length anyhow that I need. There we go. Based on the length of my saw blade here, that chunk there was 14 inches at least in diameter. Just gonna say, luckily this chunk of the tree is sitting up in the air, so I don't have to worry about going down into the ground or anything. One more piece for now. These are big chunks. Well, there we go. Most of a wagon full. Large chunks of wood here. Anywhere from 10 to 14-inch diameters. Black cherry. As far as the firewood is concerned, it's about a medium rated firewood. It doesn't burn extremely hot, and it's not the lowest of the low, so it's about an average firewood as far as how much heat you get off it. So here's the cutting I did. There you can see the one side of the trail with the smaller chunk of the top of the black cherry, and then I cut this side back a fair ways. I've got this chunk left, which I can probably take a couple pieces off still, and then the larger chunk of the tree itself, I can probably get some more slabs off this as well. I'm just not sure how far I'm going to take it, because it gets increasingly hard as the tree gets bigger towards the end. Here's the product of my labor today. A good little pile of wood. This will split up nicely into a fair amount of wood, and there's a lot more there if I can get at it. It's a little tricky the way the trunk has some big knobs on it and stuff. It's tricky to cut around those. You don't want to cut through them because they're so wide. But I'm sure I can get probably a good 10 or more chunks out of that trunk if I want to.